Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's your boy Stephen Lee from the System Unfiltered. Just want to go over something. There's a lot of things happening in New York, and I saw this video on YouTube, and this guy is right on the money. So I want to share this with you guys, and you know, give my opinion on it. I remember this is not a political stance or anything, but this is just like, somebody stating the facts.
As New York City plunges deeper into lawlessness, where citizens constantly worry about being attacked, robbed, or even worse, it might be comforting to know they just rolled out the NYPD dance team.
Yeah, so the NYPD dance team, if you haven't seen this already online, it's a good idea, right? For cops to have an outlet to release their stress and everything. It's just this guy. What this guy is saying is right now is not the good time to be advertising it, right? It's like when you enter a room and you're reading the room and you misread the room and then you crack a joke that's not funny, whatever at the time. It's just the same situation. There's so much stuff that's going on in the NYPD, and there's so much stuff that's going on with crime and everything that nobody really wants to see a dance like NYPD waste their resources or time on a dance team, even though it's a good idea. But it's just the timing of it, them going to the news and stuff like that. People want to hear what you're doing to stop the crime. What new programs are you putting in place? What new enforcement are you doing? So forth and so on, or advising people how to keep safe and everything. But this,
Now obviously I had to swap out the song, but it doesn't change the fact that these are actually New York City coppers that are really upset that men don't join their crew. As
now, this is true. The maturity level is low.
they are like 5th graders that said ew. Because these aren't the only NYPD dancers on social media, as this subway copper also spends their tax.
Now, how do I feel about this cop doing TikTok? I don't think she should be able to do it. She's not community affairs. She's a police officer in transit, and she's supposed to be, situational aware and stuff like that. And she shouldn't be doing this on job time, at least, not on job time.
Dollars on this. But as this clip went viral online, she got backlash from other.
I understand it's the whole community policing and stuff like that, but this is very unprofessional, because God forbid somebody's getting robbed or stabbed or killed or whatever, or raped in the train station and she's dancing on a platform. It's not professional, not during job time.
Officers upset over her time spent on choreographed dance routines while actual crime is occurring, saying she's in the subway,
right.
not community affairs, which really goes to show how tone-deaf these governmental organizations can be. As I understand, police departments everywhere have baseball teams, bowling squads, and apparently even dance troupes. But you really only want to advertise the absurd amount of free time civil servants receive if you're producing society exactly what they paid for in abundance. So if you're seeing an excess of passengers being pushed onto the subway tracks, now wouldn't be a good time to be seen twerking on the other side of.
No matter what the statistics are saying, crime is still up. Crime is on the rise, and they wasted so much money on overtime to try to stop the crime, and it hasn't deterred it at all.
Training on TikTok, and instead of looking at that social media dancer and saying knock it off, they marched out their official dance team to local news stations, completely missing the fact that people weren't annoyed at subway cop for dancing not while on a specific TikTok detail. They're upset that crime keeps increasing to levels only seen in third world favelas, and you think it's a good time to show off your dance routines. Because they can juke the crime stats all they want, it doesn't change the fact that actual New Yorkers are being impacted. Where I was just looking for footage of this incident in the subway last week, but got lost in NYC's sea of shootings, all seemingly going against their specific no-shooting policies. But what I really want to point out is this story about the woman faking illness to not be stabbed, to which the official NYPD Twitter account replied to, suggesting the
Now, let me talk about this NYPD statement real quick. I don't think it's proper for NYPD to be calling people out. Yes, you could state the facts of your side of the story, but this is a little petty. It's a little immature go back and forth with somebody in the public like that. Also, like I remember seeing Madry post something recently in regards to it was somebody else on Twitter. I think it was like one of those far left liberals posting something about the protests, and Madry was saying how, oh, you know, it's illegal to be blocking the street, and that's what the sidewalks are for, and so forth and so on. And then the person came back and retweeted, and it was a back and forth thing, and I think it was very immature, and I don't think they should have engaged in that.
Victim repeatedly
So,
stated she didn't see
NYPD
the
should be
knife, but
more
the post
careful
omitted
on
that
what
fact,
they
and NYPD
engage
couldn't do
on
anything
social
because the
media.
U.S. Constitution won't allow them to look for.
Because you got to understand, some people on social media are just trolling you, and they're just trying to bait you in. Some people are stating the facts and stuff. I understand you want to respond, but the proper way for you to respond is through the press and stuff like that. On an official, if you're gonna go back and forth on a Twitter account with somebody, it's
potential weapons. But let's look
not professional at all.
at the post specifically stating, according to the NYPD, she didn't say the man had a knife. But then she also posted on.
Right. So the reason why they asked if he had a knife is because robberies with a weapon is taken down nationally statistically, and you know, the reason why they asked, oh, you shows a knife, what does the knife look like, and stuff like that, is because what they're doing is trying to shit can the job, right? So meaning they're trying to downgrade the crime. So if, you know, she didn't see a knife and, you know, he was just saying it or whatever, or verbally harassing her, then it becomes just harassment, you know. But if he has a knife, then it becomes menacing and, you know, so forth and so on, which is a crime.
Line how they kept asking her, are you sure it was a knife? To which she stated, I'm not an idiot, I know what a knife looks like. So I wasn't there, but it honestly seems to me that she reported what happened to her, and the responding officers repeatedly asked her the same questions until they got what they needed to just write it off, as I've personally dealt with equally liberal Los Angeles police, where I reported being robbed with a knife, and their questions were, well, how do you know he was robbing you? Because he had my stuff. Well, how do you know he was threatening you?
Mind you, he's not talking about NYPD. I think he's talking about LAPD or San Francisco PD.
Because he was pointing a knife at me. Well, how close was he when he actually did that? And it really feels like being cross-examined by your attacker's attorney, except they're the police. And sadly, half of me doesn't even blame the police, as even if their leadership can get pummeled in the streets and immediately walk free, I pretty much know there's no chance for me.
Yeah, I already said this before. The justice system in court is very biased, even though it's supposed to be unbiased. That's why the lady justice is blind. She's not supposed to see. She's not supposed to be biased, but it's very biased. It's if police officers are arrested for minor crimes, they always ask for a high amount of bail, even though, like, you know, they're not going nowhere, right? Because the job knows where they are. The NYPD is tracking them anyway because they're an employee. So they're not like there's not a flight risk. But for some reason, they want to put high bails on police officers. I understand that police officers should be held to a higher standard, but the justice system should be fair. If you're not going to prosecute for minor things with other people, then you shouldn't prosecute with against other people due to their occupation or their race.
But honestly, I think the plummeting morale amongst the NYPD is the least of their worries, as the migrant crisis continues in New York City, where residents receive $7 a day to the migrants' 12, as they now receive double the spending than actual US veterans. But after the New York judge ordered Trump to pay $355 million for...
So a couple updates. They're also giving out debit cards. I believe the institution that's handling the debit cards for the migrants, you could have up to $10,000 on it, and also I think the nonprofit that's handling that, or the institution, sorry, the bank financial institution that's handling it, is actually, I think, Eric Adams' financial institution. And you don't quote me on it, but you should do your own research and look it up. I think I saw it somewhere this morning where they said that it was Eric Adams' thing. So it's a little conflict of interest, I think.
An alleged crime with no victim that they openly admit it's not about stopping this so-called crime, they're just going after Trump. So now truckers are saying they will no longer ship coals into NYC.
I've been on the radio talking.
So this is scary, right? I seen it not just here, but also on different social medias. People just putting randomly on TikTok and stuff like that. Truckers are not coming to New York. That's going to be very scary. That means no more deliveries of food, resources, so forth and so on. So, something to be aware of.
Talking to drivers for about the last hour. I'm talking to at least 10 drivers going the other way. I'm heading down.
Also, you got to understand, even if we do have truckers come in, it's going to be at a premium price, and that's going to affect us ultimately. That's the consumer.
South in Wisconsin, they're going to start refusing loads in New York City starting on Monday. I'll tell you what, look around and find out. Okay? We're tired of you leftists with Trump.
So on a tiny island of over 8 million citizens, where the mayor will spend $15 billion on the non-citizens, and their finite resources are about to become even more scarce, the best their city can do to protect you from the Kurt Russell levels of crimes about to occur is an 8th grade level dance team and a petty political prosecution that will result in your starvation. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status of today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how a random surfer in San Diego accidentally recorded the invasion in California.
Yeah, so I think this guy is on the money. My sentiments and my feelings are on par with this guy's. Same thing. Like New York needs to get this shit together, and if they don't, we're in trouble. So people should be more aware, pay attention. Election seasons here, be wary of who you vote for, and don't sit at home thinking that even if you don't, your one vote doesn't count or whatever and stuff like that. If everybody thinks like that, we're never gonna make a change. So everybody needs to get up, get out, and vote. Vote for the people that you want to represent you. All right, System Unfiltered. Peace and blessings.